Hi guys, so in this video we're going to build on what we've seen with the turtle so far, and we're going to look at how we can use methods to help us create more complicated images. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the turtle and I'm going to draw a approximate circle. So I'll do that using a for loop. I'm going to write for int I equals 0, I is less than 360, I plus equals 1. And then I'm going to move the turtle forward 1, and I'm going to rotate by 1 degree. So the way this is working is that obviously I repeat this 360 times. I'm drawing a shape with 360 sides, and each side I rotate by 1 degree. So that means in total I've gone around 360 degrees. This is going to be a circle. So let's just test it out. There we go. Okay, so there's my circle. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, instead of just drawing that as one circle, what I want to do is put together 4 circles. So there's a couple of different ways I could do that, but what the way that I'm going to do it here is I'm going to create a method which contains my circle. So I can do that by writing this part of the code down here. I'm going to write void circle and then open and close brackets and put this part of my program code into there. Okay, now the turtle part, turtle t equals screen.create turtle, I need to take that and put it at the top of my class. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm ready to draw circles with my turtle by just typing circle. If I run my code, it looks exactly the same. But because I've put all of the code that draws a circle inside this circle command, I can now reuse it multiple times. So let's say that I want to rotate my turtle by 45 degrees and then do another circle. And now you can see that I've been able to draw the circle twice by reusing this code down here. Okay, so this is our first example of a method, and you can see that the basic structure is that I write void, then I write the name of the method, and then I have an open and close bracket. And inside I can write any commands for the turtle that I like. When I write the name of that method, when I write circle, Java is going to do all of the stuff that's written in here. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to use another for loop. I'm going to write for int I equals 0, I is less than 8, I plus equals 1. And I'm just going to draw a circle and then rotate by 45 degrees. So this is going to draw 8 circles. Let's test it out. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's fine. I'm going to say that that shape there is a flower. So again, I'm going to put it in a method. I'm going to write void flower, open close bracket. And then I'm going to copy that program code into flower. So now here I can write flower. Now what's going to happen is when my program runs, this command flower is going to run all of the program commands inside the flower method. And the flower method is going to repeat 8 times, and it's going to use the circle method to do all of these commands. So we're building up a structure here where I'm drawing a flower, and the flower is made of circles, and here is the commands for a circle. Okay, let's try making more than one flower. So what I'll do is I'm going to use the turtle's goto command. Sorry, not goto, it's set position. Is it set position? Oh, set point, that's it. Helps if I can remember what I called it. Okay, so turtle.setPoint, I'll go to 100, 100, and then I'll draw a flower. And then I'm going to set a different point. Let's go to minus 100 and draw another flower. There we go. Now I've got a couple of different flowers. Okay. So I can draw as many flowers as I like. Let's try another one. Maybe I'll go to 0 and minus 50. There we go. Okay, so this is all very well. What I want to do is be able to draw flowers of a different size. Okay, so in order to change the size, what I need to do is somehow control the size of each circle, because remember that the flower is just made up of circles. So by making each circle smaller, I'll make the flower smaller. Okay, so to control the size of a circle, what I do is in between these brackets, I write double size. Now, this stuff that I write in between the brackets allows me to give extra instructions when I do that method in order to customize exactly what the method does. Okay, so what I'm saying here is that when I ask to draw a circle, I'm going to provide a value called size, and that's going to be a double. So a double, you might remember, is a value which can contain a decimal point. So here, when I create a circle, let's change the size of my circle. I'm going to make it 0.5. Okay, now at the moment it still won't change the size of the circle. If I run the program, I get exactly the same thing that I had before. But what I have done is I've passed the value 0.5 into this method called circle, and I can use that size value anywhere I like now. So instead of doing move 1, I'm going to do move size. That means that if I ask for a circle with size 0.5, then this size will be 0.5, which means that I'll only move 0.5 instead of a whole 1 pixel each time. If I run that now, you can see that the flowers have gone to half size. Okay, so I can control the size of a circle here, but that's no good, because what I want to do is control the size of a whole flower. So let's do the same thing for flower. I'm going to write double size in here so that I can control the size of a flower, and I control the size of a flower by controlling the size of each circle. So instead of always using a 0.5 circle, I'm going to put size here. Okay, so now I can control the size of the flower up here. So if I put 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, then I'm going to get the same size flowers that I had before. But the difference now is that I can actually choose what size flower I want. If I put 0.75 here, and let's put 1 here and 0.5 there, and then run it, and you can see I've got 3 different sizes of flower. Okay, so this is pretty handy. Let's see if I can put this into a for loop. I'm going to write for int I equals 0, I less than 8, I plus equals 1. Now what I want to do is to draw each flower at a random position. So I'm going to show you how to make some random numbers here. What I do is write capital R, random, R equals new random. So what this does is it makes a new random number generator called R. Now you'll see it's exactly the same pattern that we've seen before. So I write the name of the type. This is going to be a random number generator. It's going to be called R, and then this is where I make it. Now you have to import random here, so I click on import random just to get tell Java which random number generator I want. Okay, so once I've made a random number generator called R, I can generate random numbers really easily. What I'll do is I'll make an X coordinate for my flower, which I'll do by putting r.next int, and I want a number from 0 to 400. Okay, now because I want to actually make it between -200 and 200, because this uses a graph layout from -200 to 200, so I'm going to subtract 200 here. So I'm making a random number from 0 to 400, but then if I minus 200 from the answer, then I'm going to get a value from -200 to 200. And I'll do the same thing for my y coordinate. Okay, so I've made a random x coordinate and a random y coordinate. Let's put that into my set point and then run the program again. Okay, and I've generated a bunch of random flowers. It doesn't look as nice as I thought, but never mind. Okay, so the next step is let's make the flowers random sizes as well. So before I go through doing this, you might want to have a go at it yourself. You could pause the video, see if you can use the random number generator to generate a random size for each flower that we make. Okay, so here's the answer. What I'm going to do is first of all make a random number for the size. Now this is also going to be using nextInt, so I'll make a random number between 0 and 100. Okay, now a size of 100 is going to be way too big for a flower, because all of the flowers that we've done have had a size between 0.5 and 1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to divide size by 100. Actually, maybe I'll divide it by 50. So and then I'll add on 0.5 because I want 0.5 to be my minimum size. If I divide it by 100, then I could actually get a size of 0, which is going to be an invisible flower. Okay, now the reason I've written 50.0 is to make sure that this is a double type and not an integer type, because I want to be able to represent numbers with decimal points here. So let's give it a try. If I click play. Okay, I've got some really big flowers there. This is kind of looking a bit messy, to be honest. I thought I was going to produce something pretty, but I don't know that this is very pretty. Let's try making the sizes a little bit smaller. So I'll divide this by 100 and I'll only add on 0.25 and we'll see how that looks. Okay, yeah, not very convinced, but well, I'll take what I can get. Maybe I'll reduce the number of flowers as well. Okay. Yeah, it's not looking good whatever I do with it, but okay. I tell you what, I'll try making a random color as well. So let's make a random color. I'm going to put int color equals r.nextInt. Now you might remember that colors are numbers which can be between 0, which is black, and 0x FFFFFF, which is white. Okay, so if I make a random number between 0 and this number, that's going to give me a random color. So now I'll set the color of the turtle to my random color. Let's give it a try again. Okay, that actually looks slightly better than what I had before. I might try increasing the number of flowers again. Giving them different colors makes it look more attractive. Yeah, that just looks messy. Yeah, it's not a masterpiece, is it? But anyway, oh, that one's quite pretty. So yeah, this didn't look amazing, but the important thing is understanding the methods, right? So in this case, I've used my circle method, and I can control the size here, and then building on the circle method, I've made my flower method, and I can control the size here. And then here I've used another for loop just to create lots and lots of those different flowers. Okay guys, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that your flowers look a little bit less chaotic and maybe look a bit better than mine.